So, you know those times where I'll do a stream and it'll be probably a bad idea to have done a stream because it's very, very clearly a busy time. You might notice I'm currently sat under an umbrella. That is because about half an hour ago, I was playing 7-a-side. And I'm waiting for my brother-in-law at the moment to finish his game. And I had a look through Twitter and I saw the various bits of Fabrizio Romano news, which effectively said that there is interest from Everton and Willie Gnonto, I think, and the numbers that were bandied around was something like £22 million. If I do miss anything, by the way, I'm completely reliant on you guys to tell me, because I don't know that if I tab out from StreamYard, if it will keep me in StreamYard. So let's have a little bit of Willie Gnonto Everton chat. And in my opinion, I'm a little bit fine with it. That was the back goal to concede. Sorry, that's very much a side note. I don't mind a Gnonto sale if we get a reasonable amount of money for it. By the way, I don't know how the sound is. You might be able to hear the fact that it's twatting it down. If you can, I'm sorry about that. Good evening, what have I missed? You have not missed a single thing. I have literally just started. And you may have noticed that it is urgent Gnonto chat, because I'm literally at 7-a-side at the minute. Yeah, I did a video on this a little bit earlier in the day, because I believe it was Team Talk or someone that put out an article on it. And normally, I'm going to have a bit of a wonder. Normally, they are in the category of places that you can't necessarily trust when it comes to transfer news, which is a lot of various places, because transfer news is a hellhole and you're never going to get everything right. And that's completely fine. Oh, it's fantastic weather. Can you hear it? I can't quite tell what it sounds like for you guys. You know, I'm going to sit under this tree. This is a nice tree. And earlier on, there was conversation around Newcastle having an interest in Gnonto and Everton renewing their interest in Gnonto. It looks to me like that might have been a little bit of agent talk going on, in retrospect. It's a good way, if you are Gnonto's agent, to get Everton to get a shift on if you say that Newcastle are also interested. Because as I mentioned in that video earlier on, let's be honest, Newcastle are the more attractive prospect here. Newcastle are the, what a save. Sorry. Newcastle are the side that could potentially be getting European football, whereas Everton is the side that are in constant PSR trouble and are at somewhat risk of relegation. So it's not really the worst of ideas for these stories to come out, at least on Gnonto's side. And it's not horrible for us either, I'll be completely honest with you, because I'm going to directly address this comment right now. Kind of sounds like a horse going past. Oh, shit. Sorry. I do not mean to be dealing with horses. That's going to be the name of my first album. I don't mean to be dealing with horses. Shelter. I found shelter. Cool. Welcome to my bus shelter. It's wonderful. I think it's incredibly harsh to call this a fire sale. Because I think if you look at it, £22 million is effectively the value of one Willie Gnonto. Like, that's fine. I don't mind that in the slightest. 22 million quid is a good deal for us because he's a good player, yeah. He's a good player with plenty of potential, yeah. However, is he a £20-odd million player in the Championship when you look at last season and you say, well, he started 26 times. And in addition to that, hold on, I need my brolly back because I'm walking away from my shelter. Because there's people. And nothing makes you feel like more of a wanker than streaming in public. And I feel like selling someone for their value isn't a fire sale. It's just reasonable business. Especially if there's eyes on replacing him, which I feel like there will be. Because there's absolutely no benefit to not replacing Willie Gnonto. Because he's a good player, he's a decent squad player, he's a strong option, and let's be honest, if we sell Gnonto and Somerville, we've got one, maybe two wingers, depending on if you want to call Rutter or Aronson a winger. Maybe three, I guess. And yeah, I don't want to call it a fire sale because that's not what it is in the simplest way I can possibly phrase that. Because a fire sale implies that just everything has to go all at once and you're not getting your value for them. £22 million or 25 or whatever the fuck number is being thrown around right now is great value on our end. It's genuinely fantastic. Especially when, like, there's conversations about the likes of Jaden Bogle, who admittedly isn't a winger, I understand that. For Seven, who is a player that was coming down from the Premier League and is very good. And yeah, I think in this conversation, Gnonto having Italian caps is definitely helpful for us. I've found some actual shelter. Oh my god. Yeah, Gnonto having Italian caps is definitely very, very, very helpful for us, which is nice. Quick look at this one. Who are you watching? It's literally just other people. I must have a side link. The only reason I started streaming was I saw that the thing I did a video on earlier is now like big relevant, and I was like, I could slightly edit one of the thumbnails I used earlier. I could stream from my phone because the extent of what I'm doing is just waiting for my brother-in-law. So that's what I did. Because you might as well. I'd rather keep Willie than Somerville. I can kind of get that because I had the odd issues with Cree towards the end of last season. I'm getting actually comfy for like 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to have to head back to the pitches. That's my hand. Yeah. I can see the argument of keeping Willie over Somerville because Somerville towards the end of the season felt a little bit predictable. He wasn't like at his best, but at no point was he like bad. There was no stage where I was like, Somerville is not a good footballer anymore, and that's why he's probably going to go for about £40 million. I didn't think Calvin was coming back. I'm beginning to think it's a possibility. Where's this come from? Have there been rumours that I've missed whilst I've been in my eternal game of 7 aside? We drew 1-1 and I didn't score. That was really annoying because it was one of those where like the ball just sort of dribbles past you and you'd stick a toe out at it, but your foot's not quite big enough. Taking a leaf out of Connor's book, Out and About. Oh, I wish I could be Connor level in terms of doing out and about stuff because he knows what he's doing. No, this is just, I saw a thing and I was like, let's talk about the thing. We turned down 30 million previously. We did, but that was last year. And that was when he was a year younger, had a year more potential in him, when he hadn't had half a championship season of sitting on the bench, which is obviously going to sort of blunt him in terms of like pure level and skill. Yeah, I think you've got to acknowledge that he's got a year less on his contract now. Obviously, his value is going to go down a touch. It's not unreasonable to be concerned about the amount of outgoings. It seems like a fire sale because it's all one way. We need incomings to stop the panic. It's not all outgoing. We signed Rodon, we signed Cairns, we signed Rothwell. And admittedly, sure, hard to argue that they're the same level as the likes of a Somerville and a Gnonto and a Gray. Although, in terms of pure level, I think Rothwell in midfield is probably the same level as Archie Gray. It's just Gray's ceiling is significantly higher. And like when you're looking at it, the number of outgoing players that are actually likely to have minutes and start, Rodon came back, which is fine. Gray's gone, fair enough. And we need a right back in. And it's looking like it's going to be Bogle. I saw a little bit of conversation from someone who I'm increasingly considering to be rather reliable, that there is some medical or something going on today, but not 100% sure. Which will be nice, but it could always be the likes of Vuber and Christensen coming back. Hard to tell. Undoubtedly will be weaker this season than last, but worries that there will be teams below us that will close the gap quite a bit. We need some big signings to teams that were serious. I think we will. I think there will be signings on the way, but we know how the 49ers like to work. They work quietly. We knew nothing about Rothwell in the lead-up. We knew nothing about Cairns, and the only reason we knew anything about the Rodon thing was we'd had him last season, and like there were constant hints from Sam Rodon. He was constantly like, "Oh, do you want to come? Oh, come to Leeds." And eventually he was like, I guess, because Archie went the other way, and PSR worked out quite nicely on that one. I think. You look, what? You're not that worried about Gnonto going, are you? Not particularly. No, it's just absolutely twatting it down. And I'm currently sheltering under the corner of a building, waiting for a football game to finish, which it should do in about 8 minutes or so. So we're going to have a little bit of a conversation. I was meant to have started this stream a little bit sooner. I was not able to. My apologies. 76 million made in outgoings. Yeah, that's if this happens, obviously. Is it 76? We got... Oh, I'm trying to do it off the top of my head now. Gray was 40. Gnonto's looking like 22, 25, so it's 62 to 65. I'm sure the 14. Who am I forgetting? I don't know. Who the fuck am I forgetting? Oh, Llorente. And the other one, Rocker. That one. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, the amount of incoming money is colossal, which is good, because the more money that we're making, the more we can reinvest. And I do think it'll be a reinvest job, because if you're looking at it from the 49ers perspective, you don't make a profit in the championship. No owners make any profit in the championship ever. That's not what the championship is for. The championship is a money sink, and then you get to the Premier League, which is where it stops being a money sink. It starts working out for you a little bit. Looks like Rasmus and Buba are coming back. We all know Rasmus is cashing. Will probably happy if that was sad. Byram. That's the thing. They weren't great in the Premier League, but it's the championship. I feel somewhat okay with that. Relegate teams with minus points beating us to players. This is where I don't know how I feel about it, because Leeds United will be the bigger draw here, but it depends on how much the other sides are willing to throw at their players in terms of a wage package. Because, for example, like, how am I going to phrase this? Sheffield United offer Callum O'Hare £70,000 a week, something like that. And imagine he turns out to be all right, but we sign a different number 10 from somewhere else for 30k a week, and he turns out to be just as good. And that's why you can see precisely why Sheffield United will have a points deduction and we won't, because we've been smart enough to sort of play around it and not get that points deduction, which is something that I think makes a little bit of sense for us. Who's at the fire sale until, yeah, basically this is it. Like, they're selling the players that it's, how do I phrase it? It's sensible to have asking prices for your players, because otherwise you get into a position where if someone offers £70 million for Crescencio Somerville, you're saying no because you've already sold a couple of players. But it's like, you can sell Somerville and get his quality back hand over fist. So it's not a fire sale. I think it's just sort of having prices and sticking with them. It's this one. Unfortunately, every Leeds player has a value, and we need to sort of respect that, I think. There is this one. O'Hare has had lots and lots of injuries, akin to Mickey Quassel. Someone just scored a goal. I don't know if you could hear that. But yeah, we have to sign quality. Yeah, it's not just a case of jumping at like the first thing that shows up or the first rumour that you've heard. You need to sign players that will be good and will perform and will help you get promoted. Otherwise, what's the point of signing them? Time to put back into the playing squad with only 3 weeks until the start of the season. There is this. This is a fair point. Yeah. I didn't know we knew that was the number on Red Bull. I'm still not 100% on that one. Probably put O'Hare and Kane's wages on the club credit card like Rad's used to. Oh, we're talking... Right, okay. I thought you were talking about Leeds, and I was like, don't think we've got his wages on our books. So that'd be a very weird one. But yeah, I think we're just being sensible. And it's nice to be Leeds United and have a little bit of common sense going on, rather than like diving in and being terrified and all that shebang. Just holding it together. It's quite nice. I don't know how we'll book his favourites for the championship, because the transfer window isn't done. And it feels effectively like you've seen a bunch of players that were good last season leave and go, we're doomed. As if, like, we're not also getting decent players in. We'll be okay. Expect 3 or 4 in the next 2 weeks, surely. I think so. I think we've got a lot of business to do. And whilst I love the way that the 49ers work from like a fan perspective, from a point of view of they're doing things quietly, which means that no one can hop in and sort of steal our players, it's not good from a content creator point of view. We live on rumours and bullshit and conversation and stuff like that. And then the fact that like we go from rumour to signed within like 3 hours is pain. It's not good. Also can see Cree leaving. Probably. But that's okay. Because if we get £40 million for Cree, and we're approaching the end of the games, so I'm going to head over in that direction now. If we get £40 million for Cree, it's a lot of reinvesting that we can do. And I do think we will reinvest, because I don't think it's in anyone's interest for Leeds United to stay in this division for a long time. I've just realised the horse sound might be my boots. Probably is my football boots. If it was a fire sale, Vuba, Christensen and Aronson wouldn't be coming back. Yeah. Like, there are other assets that would have already gone. Like, we wouldn't have turned down the offer from Marseille for Meslier. Or Meslier wouldn't have turned it down. However, whatever direction that story's going in at the moment, it confuses me. But that deal would have happened because that's how fire sales work. You sell everything because everything's on fire. I think, is that how it works? Or is it there's been a fire and sell it? I don't know. As it stands now, we're in a 100% better position than we were last season. Yeah. And I think people are a little bit too quick to forget this. People are too quick to say, like, things are looking bad because we're selling players and we're not going to get promoted. But it's like, compared to this season, still had Vuba at the club. Still had Sinistera at the club. I guess now we've currently got Vuba at the club. I don't know. Hello, Russ. Things are going okay. It's a little bit wet. I'd love to say who's winning, but we've got 3 different football matches going, so it's a little bit complicated. And I'm going to be bringing the stream to a close in a minute because the football's going to end. For the ham sandwich impersonator take Bamford in part exchange for Bogle, I'm sure he'd love that. Can we stop trying to get rid of Pat Bamford, please? It doesn't do us any good. Because when Bamford's fit and playing, he's great. And yeah, sure, there's times he's not fit. But it's fine. No one's Aronson and Christensen, that's why they're back at Leeds. It's less that. That's part of it, yeah. No one is willing to pay the asking price. That asking price is in place purely because of the amounts that Victor Otter paid in the first place. I wonder if I can wedge my phone in here. Oh, I can. This is great. Yeah. The reason behind that is more. It is Joe Poppins. Oh, look at that. We wouldn't be able to make enough money back to suit our PSR needs, which would be suicide. So it means that we've got a reasonably good footballer at Elland Road this season because no one's taken him. But that's fine. Because when you think about it, the Championship is not that good of a league. I still need to scroll. With the World Cup around the corner, players might not want to mess about at lone clubs this year and knuckle down Championship, as we know can provide a good enough platform. Yeah. National team call-ups are all over the place in the Championship. We know the USA are not flush with talent. So someone like an Aronson will be able to have a colossal impact this season for Leeds United and sort of make themselves heard, if that makes sense. I've just realised that that is very much in the way. But that isn't better. This wedging thing isn't working very well. Ah, that'll do. But yeah, the general gist is Willie Gnonto looking like 22 to 25 million quid to Everton is the biggest rumour at the moment, unless I've missed something from Fabrizio Romano whilst I've been doing this stream, which is very, very feasible. And with that, we have the full-time whistle. So, unless I've missed anything, I'm going to need you guys to let me know at the last minute. Union Berlin wanted another loan for Aronson, but Aronson said he wanted to return following talks with Farke. That's fair enough. Aronson will check the Championship for a team of youngsters. Evie, hi. You've timed that really badly, Evie, because I am nipping off right now because all of the games of football have just come to an end. I know, having a wander stream at the moment. I will do a more normal stream tomorrow. I'll do, I think, Football Manager in the evening, maybe something in the middle of the day. I've got something fun planned on Wednesday, which is a little previous channel guest popping back, which is going to be fun. And yeah, outside of that, I don't really know what to add because I've got nothing to add to the story except for who'd you bring in to replace Gnonto? Viewers of the FM series will know the answer to this. I'd bring in the legendary Romanian Dennis Mann, currently at Parma, promoted to Serie A last season. Incredible player. We love him. And he's going to get promoted next season with Leeds United. Anyway, I need to head off because there are people walking this way and I already feel like a twat. We're doing a stream. So, hope you enjoyed. If you did, pop a like on it down below. Comment what you thought, I guess. Subscribe if you're not, even become a channel member because it's very, 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 very helpful for the channel and keeping it growing. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. I will see you later. And I'm going to go and get dry. Ta-ra.